I'm gonna give people about another half a minute. As you all step in, make sure to hit that like button. I really would appreciate that. I don't plan on being here too long because I know people have to be around. Listen, this is a day of reflection. It's a day for family. It's a day for gatherings. Oh, good morning, my love. I hope you're doing well this Christmas morning, and Merry Christmas to you, and Merry Christmas to your family and your loved ones as well. And as I mentioned before, I'm probably not going to be on too long. I will drop the link if anybody wants to join. More than welcome to join me if you'd like. I'm going to put that in the description. And I'm going to start right about now. You know, we're going to be, and we have been pulverized, obviously, leading up to this day with Santa Claus, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Christmas trees, lightings, and a whole bunch of things that really have nothing to do with Christmas. I did a live stream last year about them taking out the Christ in Christmas. And if and when you get a but this is not that type of live stream. Now, it is a continuation of that live stream. If you want to say that, that's fine. Because the real reason for the season is, of course, Jesus. It's the fact that Christ was born. Now, whether he was born on December 25th is up to debate. That's fine. Again, this is not that live stream. Now, I'm pretty sure he wasn't, or else he'd be freezing to death in the manger. But then again, Jesus was perfect because he came from perfection. How do we know this? The reason why Jesus' birth and subsequently his death is so important is because of the fact that God's laws, according to the Bible, are perfect. And it took a perfect life to buy back a perfect life. That is why in the Bible, Jesus is referred to as the ransom sacrifice. Obviously, if Jesus is not born, then he couldn't die for our sins. And you know what? Maybe I'm going to retitle this. Instead of saying Christmas, the reason for the season. Hey, Jesus Gutierrez, how are you? Maybe I'm going to retitle this Christmas and the greatest gift of all. Because he is the greatest gift of all. And maybe that's why we give gifts to our loved ones, our family members, our co-workers, people that we deem that we care about. He absolutely is. And I'm going to go deeper into depth as to why. And once again, I'm going to drop the link just in case anybody wants to join me, because this isn't about me. This isn't about how I feel about X, Y, and Z, because it's not. It's about the fact that in a lot of ways, America, and in fact, the world over, is missing the point. Okay, that's great, but that's not what it was about. He wasn't banned. Jeez, I put him in timeout. I didn't ban the man. Jeez, but that's all right. If you read the Bible correctly, if you read the beginning of Matthew, it goes over Christ's lineage. Hey, I don't know what I'm going to put out there. How are you? And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you and your family. Okay, I'm going to try and stop looking at because I can get sidetracked really easy. That's one of my fatal flaws. It lets you know that he comes from the line of David. Thank you, I appreciate that. And as we know that he was born to Jesus, he was born to Joseph and Mary was a virgin. In fact, if you remember, it was the angel Gabriel that spoke to both Mary and Joseph. And he had to pretty much prep him for what was going to take place, because no one would have believed that he was born of Holy Spirit, excuse me. And it had to be that way, because if he were born through Joseph's seed, of course, he would have been imperfect and he would have been incapable of being the ransom sacrifice. And I'm going to make a long story short here, because this does go back to the very beginning of man, when Adam and Eve were set foot in the Garden of Eden. And we all are familiar with what happened there. At first, Eve bit of the apple. Well, we don't even know if it was an apple, but bit from the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and bad. And she convinced Adam to do so. And Adam subsequently followed his wife. And we all know what happened there. From those two, sin entered, because they were perfect. And that's why there's going to be no, my goodness, I cannot think of the word. It's early for me. Please bear with me. There's no resurrection for Adam and Eve, because Adam and Eve were already at perfection. Just like there's going to be no resurrection, but a destruction of Satan the devil. He fell from grace. He fell from heaven. He was already Jesus was at the right hand of God. But when Satan the devil, before he became Satan the devil, when he was Lucifer, he was arguably the most talented angel in heaven. And he was adorned with all gifts. And that's why there's nothing but obliteration and destruction waiting for him when the time comes. And we are very close to the end time. Anybody that doesn't believe me, all you need to do is read Matthew the entire chapter 24. And Christ himself tells you the signs of the last days. And we have seen those signs. All we have to do is look at the world today and know that we are in the signs of the last days. And when I mean last days, I'm not just talking about the last days of the earth itself, because the Bible tells you that that the heavens and earth will by no means pass away. But we're talking about the current system of things that are going on in the earth today. The governments that are being run, those will be overthrown because the true ruler of the world will take its place, because the earth is going to be ruled by Jesus Christ. And he was put here to rule the earth by God himself, which is why it was very important for him to, number one, know the assignment, number two, and most importantly, to fulfill the assignment. I do not want to even imagine what would have happened if Jesus Christ failed. Because the same way Adam and Eve failed, the same way, and they're going to have to call back whoever that is, the same way that Satan failed and fell from grace, and Satan wasn't the only one that fell from grace. There are several other. That's why they're called demons. They followed Satan from heaven and decided that they were going to rebel against God as well. Jesus could have failed very easily because he was given the same free will that we have as humans, the same free will that Satan had, the same free will that the Nephilim had during the days before Noah, of the days of Noah, excuse me. That's part of the reason why the floods happened. And the same free will that we have today is the same free will that Christ had. But Jesus Christ wanted to do the will of his Father, and that was the most important thing to him. And wanting to fulfill his Father's word and to fulfill the mission, that was his greatest desire, and that's why he did what he did. And he gave his life for us, that we may have everlasting life, according to his word, the Bible. So let us not forget what the real reason for the season is. It's certainly not about Saint Nick or Santa Claus, whatever you want to call him, Father Christmas or whatever. It's not about Frosty the Snowman. It's not about Christmas carols, even though, I mean, those are traditions, and I'm not going to say that those traditions are bad, good, or indifferent, because those are definitely good for our families. It's good. It galvanizes our families. It brings us a lot of memories. But the reason for the season, of course, is Jesus Christ and what he did for us, having to die a death that no one ever had to die. He was spit upon. He was cursed. He was tormented. I mean, he was poisoned with hemlock. He had to wear thorns and thistles. He suffered great pains. He suffered more than any other person in the history of mankind in order to fulfill what he had to fulfill for us. His perfect life brought back Adam's perfect life that he lost, that we have a way to gain everlasting life. And ladies and gentlemen, Jesus Christ is the real reason for the season, and he is the greatest gift of them all. And again, if anybody wants to join, I'm going to give you one more time if you want to join me. And if you have anything else to chime in on StreamYard, if you want to join me before I leave, because I told you it was going to be a very quick and very to-the-point live stream. And again, I don't want to keep anybody waiting from their families and from their friends and from their loved ones. I'll probably come back on a little bit later and have more of a festive live stream. Because again, this is a directed to the point one. And make sure to like, share, and subscribe because this is very important. Because sometimes we do get caught off track with life itself. It definitely catches up to us. But let's remember, it's all about Jesus Christ. It's all about the sacrifice. And it is as much about his death and the way he died as it is about his birth and him coming into being. Again, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. Uncle Claude signing out. I'd like to thank everyone that joined me, especially the great misunderstood. I love you very much, and I pray that this is a very wonderful and joyous Christmas for you. I understand also that it's a very difficult time for a lot of us. There are a lot of firsts for a lot of us, and for all those who have lost their loved ones over time or just recently, we do our best to honor their memories. Thank you so much, Jeremiah. I appreciate that. And to remember them and remember our Christmases of the past. And we look forward to our future where it's not going to be like this and we're no longer going to cry. And Revelation teaches us that the former things will have passed away and that we are going to see our loved ones once again in paradise. And we look forward so very much to that time. Uncle Claude signing out once again. Take care, stay safe, God bless, and Merry Christmas, everyone. Take care.